Okay, what I got here is a Daisy 880. This scope here is a 2 to 7 by 32 Hawk scope, and I can focus on a full 7 power at 5 yards. I can get a clear picture on any small object, and 5 yards is right about where that Coca-Cola bottle is. So the way I set this up for longer range, uh, for velocities that are within 4 pumps, what I did is I maxed out the turret and then I backed off a few clicks, probably like 4 or 5. Now this has got a strong spring in it, so you can go all the way. Some scopes you can't do that because the springs are weak in some scopes, but this is a really good scope and it holds true. So what I did is I maxed out the turret and stepped back about maybe 4 or 5 clicks. And what I did is I locked that in place so that turret is fixed. Now this is a mil-dot reticle. It's not illuminated. But when you lock in your elevation, nothing's going to shift on you. And then when you make your adjustments, you don't hold the rifle and make the adjustment. You hold the scope and make the adjustment. Because if you hold the rifle and you make adjustments like with this or your objective, what happens is all that tension is going into the plastic part of the rifle right here. So when you do an adjustment here, hold this part, and then with your other hand, hold this part, and then make your adjustment. Otherwise, you might throw off your zero or whatever. So this is set up for 1 to 4 pumps to see what pellets can do for longer ranges on lower velocities. But also it helps you so that you don't have to pump so much. So 4 pumps is a lot better than pumping 10 times every time you want to shoot. And the reason for doing this is for target shooting. This isn't for hunting or anything like that, just for plinking, so that family members and people can shoot this and have fun with it. Now we do set it on a full 7, but with kids and beginners, you want to turn it down to like 2 or something like that, and just have them shoot something like at really close range, and then as they get better, go further out and then set it up to 7. Because what happens is on a full power, their eye won't have a good cheek weld and they'll wander around in that scope and get parallax error. So when you're looking into scope, if you see shades of gray on each side of the scope and you don't see a perfect clear picture of a circle, you get these shades kind of wandering in and out, that means that you got parallax error and you're not keeping your cheek on the stock and your eye isn't centered. So this is something I set up because there was one time I wanted to see how far one pump would go. And when I took a 5.3 grain Beeman type FTS lead-free pellets, 5.3, 5.6 grain, when I took them and I used it in this rifle, I found that I could stretch it out to 35 yards. Now, granted, the groups weren't going to be as good, but you can actually get a pellet to go 35 yards with this thing with one pump, which is crazy. But even with a wad cutter, you can get them out to 25 yards with one pump, but no further than that because of the ballistic coefficient. So this is set up for experiments and stuff on low velocity and what a air rifle can do on low velocity, and also what kind of accuracy can you get on low velocity. And it's also set up for indoor shooting at 15 yards, which I have here. Beyond that door, I've got a pellet trap, and that's one of the reasons why I maxed out the turret, is so that I can shoot at longer ranges and short ranges. So you get the best of both worlds. You can shoot indoors, use your mil-dot without being off on your elevation, and since the elevation is already maxed out, then when you get out in the field, if you want to pump it more than 4 times, you can make your charts and stuff. But make sure you keep charts on every power level you go and every pump level you go. So what I typically do is do 4 pumps and then keep it on 7 power. And then for you hunters out there, you might want to set it to 2 power and then get your charts on what 2 power is. If you want to hunt where you got something that's moving very quickly, and you need to track that animal or something while you're hunting, 2-power is the way to go because you got more field of view. The only downside to it is you have a little bit less accuracy, but you can learn how to get better accuracy by testing the number of pumps you get and doing your groups at 10 or 15 yards and finding out which is the most accurate pellet and what groups you're getting based on how many pumps. And for hunting, you want to make sure you use as many pumps as you possibly can so that you have a humane kill. So I'm not going to tell you how many foot-pounds per critter, but I'm just saying you want to make sure that you have a good aim point and you know that you have the accuracy to take that shot and you know that definitely you can make that humane kill. So you want to practice your hunter's ethics, and everybody wants that long shot that they can show off with, but if you wound an animal and you can't find that animal, it's not good. So you want to practice hunter's ethics. You want to make sure you have the right pellet to get the job done for hunting. You want to have the right velocity. You want to have the right accuracy, and you want to make sure you don't let your ego get in the way when you're hunting. It's fine target shooting at long range and making shots, but if you wound something and people see it on camera and it's running around and it's still hurting and wounded, I don't think that's very good ethics. So, but anyway, thank you very much, you guys, for watching, and make sure you look for the second part of the video where I show you the groupings on some of the low pumps and the settings like 7 and 2-power, what I was getting. So thank you.